Good, hello and welcome to another session of M.E.T. Um, I do really. I just want people to know that I'm not trying to deter anyone from wanting to be married. That is not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is help people get as much information about people as you can before you marry them. God made marriage a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing between a man and a woman. But it's just that you have a lot of people that are that have hidden agendas, that are jacked up in some of their ways, that it makes being married a difficult thing. So God made it beautiful. It's just that the people that are getting married, they're just messed up. A lot of people have had previous relationships that they have soul ties from. They've been abused as kids. I hear a lot of women, they've had abuse growing up, and that all spills into their relationships. And then a lot of times, now we're growing up in homes that there are only one parent. And sometimes the parents that we do have, because they didn't know how to be husbands and wives, but they are our fathers and our mothers, they live jacked up lives. And then we learn from them. And now this is what we have. So this is not, like I said, this is not to deter anyone from getting married. It's just that I've seen a lot of women, especially, they are so excited. They're on cloud 75. And they have this smile on their face and this excitement going on. And then they get married and now they look like they're sucking on a lemon, that's been soaking in vinegar. It's like, okay, so what happened to all that excitement? And then you owe it to yourself. You are going to spend the rest of your life with this person that is standing in front of you. You need to know about them as much as you can instead of being like, yeah, come on now. I mean, I'm just trying to make this thing as real as I can. I've seen people down through the years, and it's like the misery that people are living. I mean, I was just told about, I remember that in the last video, I talked about this woman that, her husband ended up choking her until she passed out. And then she saw herself leaving her body. And when she looked back down, he had picked her up and squeezed her until he broke her ribs. And I was wondering, what did she do to make this man so angry that he would want to do that to her? Well, the lady ended up ministering at my sister's church. And he was so angry with her because she wouldn't lie for him. And because she would not lie for him, he said, "I'm going to kill you." And everything just spiraled like it did. She actually said that, and when he choked her, the angels came to get her, and they, she had one on the right and one on the left, and they came to take her. But when she turned around and she turned back and looked, he had took her body and threw it up against the wall, so that's why there was blood on her clothes. And when she looked back, she told the Lord that, "I can't go right now. I have children to raise." So he allowed her to go back. But it was a very interesting story, because she was saying in the beginning, she ended up marrying this guy when she was in college. And while she was in college, Then, and after he getting married to him, then he started beating her. So sometimes you about to marry these guys and you don't know what's about to happen. It's not just guys, it's girls too, because there are a lot of men beaters out there. I mean, don't fool yourself. But the whole thing about that whole relationship, they told her, don't marry that man. Her family told her not to marry that man. Her pastor told her not to marry that man. But she went and married that man anyway and suffered the consequence of it. But she stood right there with him. You know how she ended up saying that her mother ended up beating her, just getting her a beating because, she was being disobedient. And she told her mother, you will never beat me again. And she didn't. But her husband beat her, started beating her. And she had to go to her mother and tell her mother, Mom, I'm sorry for telling you that. Because now she's getting it now. I even think about another woman, a young lady, that she was told not to marry this man. But because everybody else around her was getting married, she decided that she's going to go ahead and marry this man in spite of what they say. And then their marriage, I don't believe it lasted 2 or 3 years. I really don't think it lasted 3 years. But this is not to deter people. It's just like I said, sometimes you have to get off the high. You need to get off that high about getting married, because I don't care how wonderful that person is. I don't care how great they look. We are all flawed. And a lot of us need deliverance. We need deliverance from our past. And if you don't get deliverance from your past is going to bleed into your relationship, and then you're going to have a mess on your hands. We don't want to talk about real issues. What do you do? What do you do when you marry someone, whether it's a male or a female, and everything is fine in the beginning, and then all of a sudden now they want to treat you like a punching bag? Okay, but you weren't expecting this. But did you pray about it? I mean, a lot of people see the obvious. Like I said in a previous recording, this lady, she was dating this guy and he was beating her while they were just boyfriends and girlfriends. But she decided she was going to marry him because he asked. And I asked her, why did you marry him? She said, well, I thought he would change. I said, did you watch The Burning Bed? Come on now. That man beat that woman from the time they was in school together. And even after they got married, he was still beating her till she flipped in her head and burned him in the bed while he was asleep. So you need to get off I tell anybody, get off the high. Get off the high, get off that excitement. You looking at these people and that, man, he handsome, man, she beautiful. And it's like, yeah, but they are more than what you are looking at. And what all I'm saying is that you owe it to yourself to gather as much information as you can. And some people may say, well, Nina, you've never really been in love before. Let me tell you something. I've been in love 3 times and it didn't do me no good. Okay, it didn't do me no good. But to me, I mean, I had enough sense to say to myself, Nina, okay, move on. This person don't feel like that about you. You need to move on. Put your big girl pants on and move on. All these people in the world and you stuck on one person. But you got to have him. That's like him. And I'm noticing today that people are crazy. I mean, even when things don't work out, some people feel like, well, if I can't be with you, then no one can have you. Some people would rather see you dead than to see you with somebody else. Some people, and then, men, it's especially with the men. I tell you the truth. Men be looking at women and, that woman fine to them. Ooh, look at that bodacious babe. I got to have her. But then she want to control you, and now you don't like it. And now and all this other kind of crazy stuff going on. It's like, look, you got a lot of people, they like a lot of drama. But, you looking at how good looking this person is. Some people would rather see you go under than to see you with somebody else. Because they couldn't get their way with you. Well, I'm going to take you for all you have. And it's like this. Why don't you just move on? And it's probably coming down to this. See, a lot of times when it comes down to a man going to get him somebody else. But sometimes women, no, they don't. They'll end up dying, single. But a lot of men, man, they're gonna get them somebody else. And some people, once they reach a certain age, it's like, I'm gonna stop you from trying to get I'm gonna make sure that you don't get nobody. You don't have nothing for nobody, because I'm gonna take you for everything you have. Because they know they ain't gonna get nobody else. They couldn't control you, so come on. But my thing is, and I'm going to be like a broken record. You need to know as much about that person as you possibly can, because, you got this smile on your face. And if you want to keep that smile on your face, if you want to keep that frozen smile on your face, okay, let's see how you feel a year from now. Sometimes it's less than that. Sometimes right after the honeymoon, people are looking sour. But it's like this. Okay, so why are you looking sour? You didn't get enough information. Before you start talking to him, you need to see who he been, maybe see who he been with, how they feel about him. What was he like? Women, they like to talk. Men like to talk too. But if you're gonna get with somebody, you need to know, how was that person like? There's two sides to every story now. There's two sides to every story. But while you talk, like I tell people, while you talking to a person, you need to have a telepathic conversation with the Lord, asking the Lord, Lord, I like this person, but would this person be a good fit for me? Will I be happy with this person? Will this person satisfy me? Okay? Tell God the obvious, because you don't want to marry no man or no woman and you get no pleasure out of them. And then you now you married to them, now you stuck with them. They ain't dead yet, but now you want to move on. You want to move on, but you didn't ask no question. It's like, a man that I was in love with, God told me, he said, that man will not please you in bed. Told me flat out that he wouldn't. Gave me a dream. His thing was that big. I'm just being real. You as your own person, especially everyone that has broke their virginity. You know what you like. You know what satisfies you. You know what pleases you. So you don't need to just be marrying somebody because he looked good. Yeah, he looked good. He looked fantastic. Got a lot of money. But you know what? That's it. That's it. It's like, come back to me when you're growing a little bit. A lot. I'm just saying, like I said, this ain't for kids anyway. You have some women, they like a man that's packing. They're packing a gunja. But some women, they rather a man with a spliff. He ain't gonna have much. Just I don't want all that. Some women, they want the, my God, what is It's not no porn flick, so we trying to keep it clean anyway. But like I'm saying, my thing is get as much, and I mean, sometimes you don't want to be with somebody because of the basic information that you didn't get. You know, they're good people. I mean, a lot of people, people are generally good people. It's just that because of the things that we have been through in life, people have gone through in life, it has them flawed. You know, I was just thinking about, you got, I just heard of 3 engagements, you know, so there was 3 proposals, 3 yeses, so 3 engagements. Okay, so I mean, and everybody's excited. Everybody's excited because they're about to get married. You know, they're about to get married. It's like, and I'm looking at this smile on their face, and I said, I hope it's frozen on your face for the rest of your life. I hope it's frozen, because the stuff you're gonna go through, I hope it's frozen, and you don't mind being there. Or you're going to be in that marriage, and then you're going to end up wanting out of that marriage. Then you're going to end up out of that marriage, and then you're going to go through. You're going to go through this cycle all over again. And so it's like, I understand we excited about getting married, but at the same time, calm it down, get off cloud 75, and start thinking, start reasoning with yourself. What's the worst thing that could ever happen in your marriage? Can you deal with it? You ought to talk to people that are married, and you ought to talk to people that have divorced, and see why they divorced. Learn from people. Why did you choose her? Why did you choose him? You need to know. I mean, talk to people. My thing, I listen to how a lot of men, especially men, they marrying these women because they were beautiful. And that's all they had was beauty. Knock, knock, ain't nobody home. But beautiful is all get out. Oh, he handsome. We got a dragon inside. I mean, you owe it to yourself. I tell anybody, you owe it to yourself. Get off the cloud. If you know that, if you have any inclination of not marrying this person, postpone it. Or just don't do it at all. Because this right here is for better, for worse. What's the worst thing that could ever happen? What if a person gets sick? Are you willing to take care of them? What if the person is in the military and you at home? Can you forsake all others? And men and women are chasing you like flies on manure? Come on now. What's the worst thing that could happen? You enjoying good sex with your spouse, now you don't. Now you want sex real bad, you can't get it. I mean, but what are you going to do? You going to act like everybody else? I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay there? But you made a vow. What do you want to do? That's why you owe it to yourself. If you're going to do this, if you're going to say I do to anybody, stop looking at what you're looking at. You need to look beyond what you see. Because if you don't, you will wish to God that you didn't. So I want to encourage people, because like the Bible say, marriage is honorable and the bed undefiled. The Bible said that he that findeth a wife obtaineth favor of the Lord. He obtains favor. Marriage is God ordained it. But it's just that because you have people that have been through so much stuff, they got all this baggage, they need deliverance real bad. Marriage can be one ugly thing. But I tell anybody, if you can keep that smile on your face, keep it. I mean, but get all the information you can. Okay, I'm done.